Hey everyone, thanks for joining Mando Talk. We're going to be talking about episode 6 today. So, with me, I have Eric from Sour Speed Reviews, Noah from Noah Nation Vlog, and for the first time on the stream, we have Danny from Danny Fandoms. You've probably seen him around in the live chat before. He's a very active live chat member. So, thanks for joining us today, Danny.
Absolutely, y'all. Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Yeah, so we've got a crazy episode to talk about today. So much randomness to discuss.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the very first scene with the fish romance. What did you guys think of that?
I mean, I'm usually not one of these. I'm usually not super picky until like everything just starts piling up on each other, and then I can't help but point stuff out. So I forget what the Admiral Akbar's species is called, but obviously so we got that species in there, and it's just like a little English teenage boy talking voice, which was kind of weird. Just thought that was weird.
Yep. Same thing
with the lady. Yeah, it was just like, okay. Same thing with the woman, whatever her species was or whatever. Her little things started curling up when they were getting separated.
I had to look away. That was too much.
I just I can't even look back at this scene that started this episode and go, what was the point of this? Besides just going, I guess they were just trying to show what some of these other Mando were doing at the current moment. Mm-hmm. But it started with that, and then it just bled into everything else that I just wasn't a fan of this episode, and I was just like, man, this is a hot start. And it was like, again, I try not to be too nitpicky, but when things just start piling up on each other, I literally can't help but point it out. I'm like, what am I watching right now?
Yeah, that scene didn't lead up to anything other than them taking the calamari kid.
I mean, it was basically to show for Tom Holland's brother to say, "Hey, I'm in Star Wars and you're not."
Oh, that was Tom Holland's
brother? He was the Mon Calamari, yeah.
Oh, wow. Also, I'm not a fan of that name for a species. Calamari, that's a little too on the nose for me.
I know.
But yeah, I hated that part.
They could at least digital it up a little bit so it can actually sound like, that species, but...
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, I know, like, when we've seen those species before, it's not like they're talking with subtitles, but at the same time, it was just so clear, like we're talking right now. It just felt so weird and out of place. I don't know.
Yeah, that was my least favorite part of the episode. The rest of it, I can kind of forgive certain parts, but that part, like, no mercy. That was terrible. Wish they had cut that out.
It just felt so out of place.
Yeah. Okay, so up next, they go to that one planet where we see Jack Black and Lizzo, and the tea party, the Mad Hatter type tea party they have going
That's on. What everybody keeps saying.
It was so weird, especially the juxtaposition of the outside of that place looking like Epcot, and then you get inside, and it's very like Tim Burton, like Alice in Wonderland colors. It was so weird.
It felt a little Marvel-esque just because it was really colorful. I don't know, man. The whole vibe just didn't feel like Star Wars. Like,
I mean, I was thinking Epcot too, and I was like, I really want a glass encased monorail now at Disney.
Did you notice Lizzo's I don't know, her attire? I mean, that little, it looked like
headdress thing.
Yeah, it looked like Mickey Mouse ears.
What was that thing floating behind her? Like there was like this holographic dress or whatever. Unless I was seeing something wrong? I don't know, man. I mean, regardless of what she looked like or like her, meaning like her dress up and everything, I'm just like, Jack Black is who we got. Like, no disrespect to him. Great. He's been in some great movies. Most recently, love him in Jumanji. But, like, in Mando? This is the most non-Star Wars thing I've ever seen in my life. And then I didn't even realize it was actually Lizzo at first. And then I realized afterwards online, and I was like, oh, that just makes it even worse. Talk about feeling out of place in Star Wars. We started out feeling like these two alien species were out of place. Then we have two actors that look like they're just cosplaying to be in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even look like they're dressed up for Star Wars. It looks like they're dressed up like you guys said for Alice in Wonderland. I was like, what is going on right now?
Yeah, that whole part felt like fanfic to me, mostly because of the writing, but also visually, it just looked really strange. Because we go from being on the outside with all this CGI for the building, and then inside it's all like wigs and makeup and and something about the lighting and the resolution. It just looked not very professional. Yeah.
It didn't feel like Star Wars. And like, I know we have to like expand upon the world we already know. So like, I'm open to new stuff, but like, there's still a certain essence you have to keep. And I don't even know how to describe it. I would just describe it by saying, go look at what we've had before that worked and just try to recreate and resemble. That makes sense.
How about the episode we just had last week? Beautiful.
I don't know. This whole season just feels so inconsistent, like kind of just hodgepodgey, take something here, take something there. Like, I don't know what's going on.
To me personally, I mean, I kind of want to be taken away from here and, being
taken out of real life and feel like you're Star Wars. Yeah.
And then when we see characters, I mean, people that we know and, celebrities, it just brings me back here. I'm like, no, just take me out there.
And sometimes
galaxy far away.
Yeah, and sometimes it works. Like, I know people weren't a big fan of Bill Burr showing up, but then he killed his character. Like, Mayfield was actually really cool. Yeah, it's like, so sometimes it works, but like just seeing Jack Black, who's been around for God knows how many years, and any movie and this TV show, and now he's in Star Wars. Wait, what?
Yeah, some like comedic actors can't just be in anything. Like Jack Black in Star Wars feels really out of place, and like if Will Ferrell showed up on the Star Wars movie, I'd be like immediately taken out of the moment. That would not work for me.
It's just like it's like The Rock showing up. Like, huh?
Dwayne The Rock, yeah, exactly.
Now I think what happened here is Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are like, let's call up someone we really like, and they're like, we like Jack Black, let's get him in here. Who do the young people like? What about that girl with the flute? What's her name? Lizzo? Yeah, let's just ask her if she wants to be. Let's see if she wants to be in here. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
And I think someone in the live chat or the group chat mentioned this. If they were like background cameos, like say Jack Black is a huge fan of Star Wars, or Lizzo is a huge fan of The Mandalorian, and they want a cameo, I feel like that's fine. But like, don't make them a central part of the story, because it's going to take people out of the fantasy.
Yeah.
And like, it didn't help
that we didn't know was a stormtrooper or first order trooper until like later on.
And it didn't help that not only were like did they feel out of place, but this whole episode and storyline just felt like a side mission. So like it didn't help their cause at any means. It wasn't like they were part of a pivotal, intriguing story. They were a part of a story that just felt like it just happened for the sake of it happening and had nothing to really do with the overall story. For now, I mean, maybe we trace back to it, but I don't know, man.
Well, we'll touch on the droid investigation next. I kind of just wanted to get your guys' initial thoughts on just the weirdness of the scene that we like came upon on that planet, which was just so weird. But let's go to the comments for now. We have quite a few. So LeBron Fett says, hello, everybody. Hey, LeBron. Thanks for joining. Christoph, do the four of you think this is written by the same people that wrote the first two seasons?
I think it technically on paper says it is, but I don't think it really is.
Maybe they got a new people that like rose up and like are now on the writing staff, and like the senior people have kind of given them more reins. Maybe it's like newer writers.
Man, I don't know. It's a mess.
Yeah, I don't keep track of like, who wrote this episode, who directed this episode, but it does feel just very disconnected from the first season. The first season, in my opinion, is still the best. I know last week I said that season 3 was a contender, but thinking back on it now, season 1 was definitely the strongest. And then I've mentioned this before, but I wasn't a huge fan of season 2 because I didn't get the Clone Wars references. But yeah, this week was weird. Mandalorian says, hello there.
What's up, Kevin?
Oh, Christoph says hello. How's everyone? Doing good. Hope everyone in the live chat's doing good too. How are you all? Eric and Noah and Danny.
Doing great. Great.
I'm very tired. I'll be honest.
Not happy?
I'm very tired.
Oh, tired. Not
happy with this episode, but
oh no, I love the episode.
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
Well, it's almost Friday. We just gotta hang in there. Super Duper says it was a great episode. Weird. That's what will stick years from now on. Moments. Jason? Good and bad, like life, like Star Wars. It was great. I have spoken. I love that reference. Yeah, well, we're gonna continue talking about it. Hey, Jonah Kenobi's Bunker says hello there. I'm sure you all miss Tony. He is having a blast right now in London Celebration. Actually, due to the time difference, right now he's probably sleeping. But
I was gonna say, I don't know what time is it over there.
I think it's like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the scene with Jack Black and that whole thing did look funky for real. I couldn't put my finger on it. Like, is it just too high definition? Is like the images per second? Like, you know how The Hobbit looked really weird because they had too many of like what do they call that? The images per second. Like, it was just
frames per second.
Frames per second. Yeah, the FPS was too high for The Hobbit. Was it that? I don't know.
I just like that, like, maybe just because I just love the prequels, but I like the aesthetic of the prequels and like everything now. It's not just Star Wars, but like all movies and TV shows now just have such a modern day look that it doesn't feel like what it used to be. But I guess that's just nostalgia glasses on, but I don't know.
I don't know. For me, sometimes CGI can feel and look even more real than like everything being like too real or too high def, which
like
is
Zeb.
Like Zeb feels more real to me than
he looked awesome.
And Jack Black in his Captain Crunch outfit, you know?
Yeah.
Super duper the hate. No. We're gonna be forgiving.
No, you can blame the rest of them. I love this episode.
Yeah, I think it has redeeming parts, and I do have an argument as to why it's okay that it's so random. That we'll get to. So don't worry, it's not all gonna be hate. We're not just haters here. All 3 seasons have had cameos galore, nothing new.
True.
That's true, but I don't know. Just certain actors, like I was saying, like Will Ferrell, like Jack Black, Noah mentioned, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. We've seen them so much, it just like immediately takes you out of the moment if they're like central speaking characters.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. I mean, we've had cameos before, but it's just a little different with certain actors. Journalist Memory's Bunker says it felt like a Bad Batch Sid mission.
Yeah, well, if we were getting 16 episodes of Mando, like we got like 16 of Bad Batch, I probably wouldn't be complaining as much. But we just got 2 left, and I'm like, let's go, like a little bit.
Yeah, it felt a weird episode for like towards the end of the season.
Well, speaking of that, we've now seen every image that we've seen in the trailer. So the last 2 episodes, everyone's going in blind, and we really don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I almost wish Tiara was here. I mean, not almost. I definitely wish Tiara was here so we could ask her about.
You already said almost. That's it.
No, I take it back. I really wish Tiara was here so we could ask her about Droid Bar, because she was so looking forward to that. Like every week, it's like, oh, we haven't seen Droid Bar.
I enjoyed that part.
Yeah, Droid Bar was cool.
I'll have to ask her next week if she's on. I'll just try to remember.
Yeah, we'll bring Droid back for next week's episode. Watch it be all about Moff Gideon, and we're like, no, that has to wait. We got to talk to Tiara about Droid Bar.
I like the scene with the Ugnaughts too. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then
they just didn't respond till Din talked.
Yeah.
Until it spoke their language or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Impressed.
Yeah, that was a cool callback to season 1. Philosopher says, hello, y'all. Hey, Philosopher. Thanks for saying hi. And they also said, not going to lie, I was pumped to see Lizzo and Jack Black. Don't care if the acting was bad. I was happy. Well, that's good. We like to hear that.
Hey, everybody can enjoy their own things. There ain't no wrong with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not that I didn't enjoy it. I think I was more prepared because I knew Jack Black was going to be in the episode, because I can't seem to avoid spoilers to save my life. Like, spoilers come to find me. Yeah, maybe it's like the YouTube algorithm or the Instagram algorithm. As soon as I go online, it's like, boom, spoilers.
It's because you talk about it every week when we're on here. Like, I gotta avoid spoilers. I gotta avoid spoilers.
I know.
All this is listening to us, and then it's just like, oh, give it the spoilers.
They're targeting me. They also, Super Duper said, I love Will Ferrell on there as a Sith. Oh no. I don't know.
Buddy the Elf as a Sith.
What about like a redhead Wookiee?
In a Wookiee suit, sure. He's got the height for it, but I don't know. As a speaking character, I just don't know. Do you guys remember when Will Ferrell was on a few episodes of The Office?
Yeah.
Those are probably my least favorite. And it's not because Will Ferrell didn't do a good job or he's not a good actor. He's too familiar, like he's too famous.
Yeah.
You put him in The Office, which is supposed to be like this mockumentary. Immediately, it just stops feeling real, you know?
Because certain people, just when you see them so many times in such big things, like that's just who they are at that point.
Yeah.
And like you can't, no matter how hard you try, like it's just hard to get that. Like I'm calling it stigma for lack of a better term, but like it's hard to get that off them. That's why when so many like young and like unknown actors come into Star Wars over the years, like good or bad characters, regardless, it's just nice to see like new people that you have no idea who they are.
Yeah.
Like nobody knew who Hayden Christensen was before he played Anakin. That was like this brand new face, so it was like cool in that sense.
Or Daisy Ridley. That's one of the things I was like really excited about with the sequels when I saw the trailer for the first time, was like that they went with really unknown actors at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
And it's not that I was watching it and like, oh, Jack Black is on my screen and like hate this scene. It's not that. It was just kind of taking me out of the moment, so I couldn't fully immerse myself in that scene.
Yeah, like even if you're trying to enjoy it, it's just like I can't because it's Jack Black.
Yeah, you expect him to break character and do his little eyebrow thing or something.
And he did do the eyebrow thing once. Did you guys notice that? He did, yeah. If you rewatch that part, there is a part where he says something and then his like one of his eyebrows go up. And immediately I was like, no, Nacho Libre is in Star Wars.
Yeah.
It doesn't
See, that's what I'm
for
talking
me.
about. I didn't even think about that, but like, yeah, like that's one of his like main things over the years. Like, how can I? Whatever, dude. I don't know.
Yeah. No, but I'm glad people did enjoy Jack Black being in the episode. So I feel like that's great. Super Duper says half man, half Wookiee. Whoa, for Will Ferrell. That sounds scary.
We're giving them ideas.
Maybe. Hey, I hope you're feeling better. I know you were sick recently. We did miss you. Thanks for stopping by Mando Talk. The Mandalorian says cameos took me out of universe, but there was some cool stuff in this episode. Yeah, that's how we feel. Aside from Danny, who absolutely loved this episode, but for the most part, we liked the Ugnaughts. We liked the droid bar. Let's go on and talk about the expedition to figure out like who's tinkering with the droids and why are the droids evil all of a sudden. What did you guys think of that plot line?
Well, first of all, I just got really nostalgic seeing battle droids again.
Battle droids highlights.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
that part was
battle
cool.
droids.
It's like Din said, like you had mad battle droids. I'm like,
yeah,
you just crossed over Star Wars.
That was the funniest line of the whole show.
He crossed Star Wars and a Jerry Maguire reference. I'm like, yes, thank you. This
What
is for
was
me.
the line?
Huh? You had me at battle droids.
What is it?
Go ahead, Eric.
No, you had me at battle droids.
Oh, that's a Spider-Man line?
Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire. Oh, okay.
You had me at hello. Yeah.
Oh,
I like how his way of
you
spotting the bad one was just by kicking out their legs and seeing
Oh,
who
I love
reacted.
that.
And then it was just like, yo,
Dynamics.
6-1 in, he just nailed it. And then the one starts sprinting.
Boston Dynamics.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was gonna say
I love
Boston
watching
Dynamics. Yes.
I thought the battle droid sprinting was weird. Did they do that?
It didn't feel too human.
A little bit. It didn't feel very as mechanic. But then again, like, have we ever, I guess not in live action, but never really seen them run like that? Like,
well, I didn't think they could run. I thought they were kind of like Terminators, where they have to walk like one step at a time.
I always think like in like Battlefront, like when you run with them.
Oh, they run in the video game?
Like, but it's not like sprinting. Like there's like it's like a slower run, if that makes sense.
Like
so it did look a little humanized.
It was off-putting a little bit.
I feel like I would have enjoyed the whole droid thing if it happened in like episode 3, but I think just based off season 1 and season 2 and where we're usually at this point in the season and just how I feel about the overall season, I just like it was kind of hard to enjoy it and like enjoy the battle droids and the super battle droids and all this stuff, because even though I love the Clone Wars and like clankers, all this stuff, I just kind of like was like, all right, well, where is this gonna tie in at this point? Because we only have 2 episodes left, and I feel like we've set up a lot of little stories throughout this season that I'm just waiting for, not a grand finale, but just something that starts to really tie stuff in and leads us to this season finale, which is in now 2 weeks. So like, I feel like I'm waiting for something to pick up, but it just feels like we're getting an episode here, something here, and I'm just like, all right, well, we're running out of time, so. Even though, like, hey, it was cool to see these droids, where's this all going, you know?
Yeah. For me, this is the only episode that really felt like that. I felt like the season started out really strong with Din and Grogu going to Mandalore and, like, the Mythosaur. Like, I feel like the season had a very strong start. And I remember we saw so much from the trailer that I was like, I literally have no idea what could possibly happen next week. Like, it could be anything. Do you guys remember when we were guessing what might happen next week? And most people were like, it's going to be all about Moff Gideon. And I was like, I don't think it's going to be Moff Gideon. I feel like that's going to be toward the end. So it really could be anything. And boy, was it anything. They just threw anything at us. It was so weird.
I don't think this guy back. Bring him back.
Yeah, I don't think anybody predicted that just some of the cameos alone in this episode. Like, I know what we're getting next week. Jack Black.
Huh? Nobody could have predicted that. But let's talk about like the mystery in this episode. Did you guys think it was going to be the security guard, or did you suspect him?
I mean, with a name like Hellgate, I was pretty sure he was the villain.
Yeah, right. If you take that aspect out of it, because I did also was like, all right, this feels a little like on the nose, but whatever. I was kind of hoping, like, again, hoping that everything was going to tie in, like it was going to lead this, like, and hey, maybe he was working for somebody, I don't know, but like it was going to tie in. Oh, it was a Moff Gideon or somebody like big and important that was trying to, reprogram all these droids for his use or something like that. I know there was like rumors going back months ago regarding the Ahsoka show that Thrawn was gonna, if like in that show, was gonna try to have some kind of army. So I was like, maybe he's trying to reprogram all these droids, and that's gonna be part of his army. I guess we still could possibly get there. I don't know, but
I would have suspected that had it not been like framed in such a goofy way.
Yeah.
But it was so like goofy and costumey that my mind didn't even go to something serious like Moff Gideon or Thrawn. I knew immediately it was going to be just a side mission.
I like the fact that they brought up the Techno Unit again. That there were the nanotech was made by the Techno Unit, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, some little stuff there.
Yeah, and I really liked that the security guard mentioned. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on Count Dooku? The way he was like looking.
Cool. Yes. He was a visionary.
Yeah, I didn't listen to the Empire. I didn't listen to the Republic, but he was like a devout Count Dooku person, which is so funny because we don't really see that a lot. We don't see people mention Count Dooku like that. So that was cool to me.
There's been a lot of like
around.
Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say it looked like. Because Bo didn't let him finish, but I saw people watching with subtitles, and they were saying that like he says something like Count Dooku taken down by the Jedi general, and then it cuts off. It's like, oh, he was about to say Anakin, obviously.
Oh. Yeah, totally. There's been a lot of like little Easter eggs and this, that, and the other throughout this season. So if anything else, like regardless of my thoughts on just the overall story plots of the season, at least we've gotten some of those little things to go, oh, this, oh, that. Prequels this, Clone Wars that. So
see the Vespa bikes?
No, I didn't.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
There are Vespa bikes?
Yeah, little police bikes. Yeah.
I'm turning it off.
No, you mentioned that, and like that's one reason I like this episode a lot, just because it reminded me like of a Clone Wars episode. Just the look, and like the whole mission and the mystery of it.
Yeah.
It had those beats.
I saw a couple people online saying it kind of reminded them of like not a specific Star Wars comic book, but something like that, where it's just kind of like a side mission brought to life, if that makes sense, because of how colorful it was at points. It was kind of like, it felt like a little comic Mandalorian like side mission or something.
Yeah, which we usually don't get in live action, but I also thought it was kind of Clone Wars-y. So I'm glad you mentioned that, Danny Fandom, because I'm gonna segue into why I think this episode deserves some grace. So it's not like the first time we've encountered something like super random or just unexpected in Star Wars. Because I remember, and granted, I know you guys know this, but I've only seen 2 seasons of Clone Wars. You remind me all the time. But there's so many random things that happen in Clone Wars. Like, do you guys remember when Padme and Ahsoka were stuck in that underground bunker and something about like a bomb was gonna detonate and like Naboo was going to be disease-ridden? Do you guys remember how random that was?
Yeah, there's a lot of those in the Clone. That's why there's this list out there. Like, here's the Clone Wars episodes you should watch, and here's the ones you should skip.
Exactly. Just skip these, or you'll be fine.
Because like, so they're just like side missions. Or at this point, we could do a big one of that about the Bad Batch as well.
Yeah. So I feel like it's okay because it's on theme for Star Wars to be pretty random at times. And I remember people complaining, or not remember, but I know people complained about how random it was to have Jar Jar Binks. And I know people thought the Ewoks were really random. Like, what are these little guys? So I think it's okay. I'm willing to forgive this episode for being so random. But let's talk about our ratings. But let's go to some comments first because I do see some coming in. I can.
Gotta think about my rating here.
Oh, Meepy says in a few days I'm gonna buy Noah's merch.
We love you, Meepy Muffin.
Thanks, Meepy. Philosopher says battle droids running that fast was scary.
Right.
That scene also reminded me of iRobot, similar way that they found the bad robot. Also feeling a little better, just tummy ache, sore throat, and sneezing.
Feel better.
Sorry, yeah. Hope you get well soon, Meepy. Brooke Chen says, hello all, got here a bit late, but yeah, episode was a bit of a letdown. Yeah, Danny liked it. So 25% of the panel really liked it. I'm willing to forgive it. We were just talking about that, but it was super random. Remember the end of last week's episode? It was made to look like Mandalorians sprung Gideon. Is it now possible that the Owls did it under Axpo's leadership? What do you guys
Probably.
think?
Oh,
it's a very good shot.
I feel like we would have seen Moff Gideon in this episode if that was the case.
Well, I'm still wondering, I mean, about that like lone piece of Beskar. I feel like if they're working as mercenaries, they're pretty professional and they wouldn't leave evidence like that behind.
Or like this probably planet.
I don't think it was it's still possible, but I really don't think so. I'm starting to think it was like just someone framing the Mandalorians.
It is possible. I think the Axe Wolf thing is an idea, but like just add it to the list of like the couple other ideas we were throwing out last week. Like, oh, somebody framed them, or the probably unrealistic but fantasy but would be cool idea of something with Sabine, and they just took them to,
I heard that.
Question them or whatever that I was saying last week, and other people said as well. So I don't know. Hopefully we get answers about that, if not next week, by the finale, because I assume we're gonna get an Ahsoka trailer this weekend at Celebration, and then that might what happens in these next two episodes might lead into that show. So I'm hoping we tie some knots.
It can't be Sabine. There's no spray paint.
Wait, what was that? Yeah.
But didn't they say it's Beskar? It's not necessarily Mandalorian armor, right?
True. The magistrate lady in the season 2 had that Beskar spear.
Yeah. So it might not be Mandalorians at all.
That's a good point, because then it could be something with her leading to Thrawn or all that stuff. So
yeah,
we will see. We will see.
I guess we'll see. I think we'll find out before the end of this season. Meepy hasn't watched the new episode, so she has no idea what we're talking about. Meepy.
Okay, so Kung Fu Panda, flutes, Back to the Future. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the episode out of context for you. But yeah, watch out for spoilers. Brooke says, to be honest, no show is perfect, so maybe we shouldn't expect every Mando episode to be perfect. I agree. Just like with Clone Wars, there's some really like plot-driven episodes, and there's some really random episodes too. It's just part of the package. And you said Clone Wars has a ton of filler episodes. Exactly. And Brooke actually gives it a 6. That's pretty good. Philosopher gives it a 6.5. Hey Shane, welcome to the stream. Says, I love the Bo-Katan stuff this episode. There was so much random stuff, but in a good way, in my opinion. That's good. I'm glad you liked all the random stuff.
Hey, Grogu was knighted.
Huh?
I said a high point. Grogu was knighted in the Bo-Katan.
Oh.
And, they were given the keys to the city. So
I didn't think that was fair. What did Grogu do? He didn't contribute.
Nothing. He's done nothing all season, but just be there.
He helped her win that space croquet.
Yeah, he helped her.
Yeah, he left Luke to help Lizzo win this game.
Fever Dreamland says, "What's up, everyone?
What's up, Anthony?
The episode was okay to me, definitely had issues. Jack Black took me out of it, made it feel like an SNL skit. I feel like that's the perfect assessment, in my opinion. I know some people enjoy Jack Black being in the episode. I don't blame you at all, but it took me out of it too.
Hey, Mando rated his own show.
I know, rough. I know.
He said he didn't like his role.
1 out of 10. I'm done with The Mandalorian. I'm changing my name. Disney once again destroyed another show, in my opinion. And after Ahsoka, I know it's going to be great, but I'm done. I'm so sorry. That's such a bummer.
Then listen, it's your own show. Just hit the writer's room, tell them what you want. They'll fix it for you next season, bro. Come on, it's your show, dude.
Yeah, it might bounce back. Remember, Clone Wars also had really random stuff. Hopefully that redeems the show a little bit for you. Mandalorian says 5 rating for me. Philosopher says Grogu got knighted for helping Lizzo win croquette. Is that what it was? Was that the reason?
Yeah, well, I don't. Whatever.
Oh.
Just for being there.
Being cute. He kind of looked like he made that purr sound like a cat when Liz was petting him. I was like, okay, it's kind of weird. Super Duper says 8.7 and gotta go. TT, what is TTY?
And I thought I liked this episode. That's higher than what I'm gonna do.
Talk to you soon, maybe. Check my latest. You'll see lots of themed. We touched on here. Night, guys. Night, Super Duper. Thanks for joining. Right, that's how you know you're getting old, is you stop recognizing the acronym. Shane says it's so clear that this season was originally written for Grogu to not be in it. Yeah, I can see that.
Definitely see that. Yeah.
Except who is gonna go get Bo-Katan on Mandalore when Din got captured? I don't know. Maybe just R5. R5 could have just left.
R5's hero arc.
Yeah.
Did we talk about the ending?
No, not yet. No, we'll get to that next for sure after I get your guys' ratings. Brooke Chan says, to be honest, the rest of episodes of this season have been pretty good. Maybe we shouldn't be depressed just because one episode is not up to par, even if it's towards the end. I agree. Let's not get depressed, guys. We enjoy the good episodes and we accept the random stuff that happened this week. But on the whole, I feel like it's been a strong season. Watch Josh's video about Mandalorian season 3 and you will understand. Yeah.
Please talk about this channel, The Den of Nerds.
Oh yeah, I'll check it out. Fever Dreamland says Grogu was knighted for being adorable. That's fair.
Just like in medieval times.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
all the little kids just get knighted whenever they want.
But I love that Bo-Katan was happy for him for being knighted. She was like smiling at him. I was like, this is cheesy, but okay. It's cute, I guess. Yeah. Lizzo was Grogu for Halloween, so I'm sure this was like manifesting your best life for her.
Oh yeah, she loves Star Wars.
Yeah.
He was probably excited because he did that flip in front of her. For a little
yeah, he had to impress her.
Yeah. I didn't recognize Lizzo. I'm like so out of touch with music these days. I like never turn on the radio or go on Spotify. So that didn't bother me. For me, it was Jack Black that took me out of it, you know? Eric, you recognize her?
Yeah, I recognize her. She's here in Houston, so.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. JQ, welcome to the live chat, says, I give it somewhere a 7 to 8 out of 10. I feel like this is the same moment as in Force Awakens. Not sure what moment in Force Awakens, but yeah, comparisons. I think 7 out of 10 is fair. Oh no, Mithi, I'm sorry. It's hard to know with like these YouTube names. Please forgive me. Fever says Grogu. Oh, I read that already. I might be skipping some accidentally. Mandalorian says Bo deserves all of this, but in her own show.
The Book of Bo-Katan.
Yeah, that's a lot of spin-off shows though, because we're getting Ahsoka. We've got the Mandalorian. I don't know if we've got Book of Boba Fett. Is that too many spin-off shows if Bo has her own?
I mean, there was rumors that like some of those storylines that were going to be in that what was it going to be called? Knights of the New Republic.
Rangers.
There's some of the rumors, I don't know, but said that some of the storylines that were going to be in that show kind of got integrated into this. So not that really coincides 100%, but.
And I know like Ahsoka's like, because she is coming into live action in this show, I still just don't see it as a spin-off. I just see it as a continuation of Rebels. But that's just like my point of view.
Yeah, I see it more as like a Rebels, for lack of a better term, more of a Rebels spin-off than having anything to do with this, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Although we did get Din's redemption arc and the Mythosaur, so I don't know. And Din did kind of take over the Book of Boba Fett, so I feel like it's only fair he shares
now he has to share his spotlight a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Mandalorian says, I forgot I was watching Star Wars honestly with this episode. I felt that, but really only during the scene where they first meet Mayor Jack Black and the Duchess. Like, that was the only time I really felt like I was in Alice in Wonderland, like the live action. Aside from that, I was okay.
Jack Black's name was Bombardier, and it's spelled out Bombardier, and I just pictured Jack Black as a TIE bomber pilot. I don't know why, I just figured that.
I love when I see new Star Wars names. Like, they just never cease to come up with new stuff. It's crazy.
I just saw one with Jack Black when he was younger. It was like a black and white. It's pretty funny. He had that same similar smile, but then he's in Imperial, his Imperial clothes.
Oh my God.
Pretty funny.
Mandalorian says Den feels like a side character. That's why. Yeah. I would say no about getting her own show because we see her countless times of her story in Clone Wars, Rebels, and now this. Yeah. I feel like that's fair. Especially how her story is intertwined with Din's. I feel like it makes sense for this season to be largely about her. Dooku mention and battle droids were cool, though. Yeah, I said that earlier. I liked the Count Dooku mention. I thought that was really neat. And yeah, the battle droids are cool.
It's a visionary.
When I hear Lizzo, I think of Lizzo like the music artist. Isn't that who?
That's her.
Yeah, it's her.
That's
her. Yeah. Oh wait, maybe were you the one that hadn't seen this episode yet? Maybe that's why. But yeah, let's talk about our ratings. Who wants to go first? Eric?
I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I'm sorry. But the second time I watched it, I enjoyed it a little bit more, but not much.
I think that's fair.
Honestly, like the number 3 is just popping out to me. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I've just felt sour about a lot of this season because I just felt like it was a little bit all over the place and like, hey, we're going on this mission today, and it just so many times I just felt like this show should just be called The Adventures of the Mandalorian. It's like, all right, come back next week for our new adventure. Like, it just didn't feel like, I don't know. And just even though there's cool Easter eggs and like cameos and like callbacks, battle droids, Count Dooku, whatever else you want to throw in this season, it just felt like some of that stuff, even though like this episode had a lot to do with the droids, it just felt like some of that stuff was almost just there just to be like, hey, look, it's an Easter egg, instead of compared to maybe season 2 where like, yeah, Bo-Katan popped up and it was a cameo at first, but then she became a pivotal part of the story. Same thing for Ahsoka. She became like a meaningful part of that story. I don't know. It's just if this episode happened maybe at like episode 3 of the season, I probably wouldn't be too as harsh on it maybe.
Exactly, early.
But like considering there's 2 left, I still don't really grasp what this overall storyline of this season's about compared to season 1 and 2, where it was like clear as day, I know what we're progressing towards. That's really has taken me out of it. And this is like the 3rd, 4th episode where I'm not saying I hated all these other episodes. Like this is the only one that I just really didn't like, but I keep leaving these shows just like, okay, well, that was it. Like even like when they went to rescue Paz's son, that episode, like I thought it was good, but I was just like, all right, well, what's next? Like we did this whole episode just so Paz can trust Din. Like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Number 3 is just sticking out to me, so we're going 3 out of 10.
That's fair. I think I was more okay with the dragon rescue than this random droid mystery thing.
Oh, I agree, yeah.
it was like Bo-Katan becoming like an integral part of the clan, and she like earned their respect. But this one I don't feel like contributes as much to the plot. But we still have 2 episodes left, so maybe it will contribute in some way we don't know about. How about you, Danny? What's your rating?
I'm giving this one a 7. I mean, I really like the visuals in this one. Again, with the nostalgia for the Clone Wars, for seeing battle droids again. We haven't even talked about the last part. I mean, that ending, I really enjoyed that a lot. And then having Christopher Lloyd is always going to bump it up for me, so I'm a little biased that way.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad we had someone on the panel that really enjoyed this episode. For me, my rating is a question mark out of 10, just because I still have no words. Like, I really don't know how I feel about it. I don't feel like strongly negatively about it. I don't feel like strongly positively. It was just kind of random, and I'm prepared to take the random plot lines in stride, and like hopefully we get some more plot driven episodes next time. But I didn't hate it. But yeah, I don't really have words.
Just to talk about that ending real quick, without going too deep or
yeah,
whatever.
Let's talk about the ending, like the last 5 minutes.
I feel like I would have enjoyed it more if it didn't, and maybe it was just me, but I felt like they filmed it, and I keep making this joke, but it just looked like they filmed it at the local park. Like, I was like, there's all these beautiful planets, or really rugged looking planets, and there's all these places you can go in Star Wars, or wherever they ended up just looked like somebody's backyard, open field with some bushes. I was like, this is where Mando's handing over the Darksaber. This is where they're meeting up. Like, maybe I was being nitpicky, I'll admit it, but I just was like, it kind of, even that was something that kind of took me out of it a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen grass like that in Star Wars. I think it was the grass.
I was just waiting for somebody to fly with a kite. Just out of the bushes.
Hey, did you see them throwing? I don't know if it was a football or a ball.
They were having a little catch out there by the ships.
Yeah, picnic day.
Yeah, they're just hanging out at the park. And then suddenly there's a brawl going on, and everyone's just like, oh.
For me, it was like, the blue sky, the grass, like the mowed lawn, and then like Epcot in the background, like those 3 things together. Because we're used to planets being very like elemental, like we've got stone and like sand, and Kamino's like water and rain, or it's like very futuristic and it's all like technology, like Coruscant. So we've never seen anything like this, like park Epcot planet. It was weird. For sure. But let's talk about what happened in the last 5 minutes. What did you guys think?
I thought we had a little, a little chat we were having that I think, I wasn't sure exactly, but somebody brought up this idea that it was going to be on a technicality that he was going to, pass it on to her.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I kind of expected that. I didn't like it, but it was,
I kind of expected it too, but like you said, on a technicality, feels kind of cheap.
Like, I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm a Harry Potter fan, and Harry got the Elder Wand on a technicality also.
Like, I feel like, you know what it feels like? It feels like they just decided as they were writing this scene. Like, it feels like they didn't plan it out ahead of time, and they just needed to figure out a way to get the Darksaber on Bo without, like, her turning bad or having a fight then or something like that, like fill in the blank with whatever you want. So it just felt like they just came up with something. It felt like fan fiction, honestly. It felt like they just picked somebody's idea off Reddit and ran with that. And I was
okay with the loophole because I didn't see it coming. Like when they talked, I didn't really care for like the spider thing capturing Din. So I didn't really give it that much thought, and like where the like Darksaber was and all of that. So when they brought it up, I was like, oh yeah, you're right. So for me, it like worked because it had been enough episodes since that happened that I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. So, and it saves us from having to watch this like Din Bo-Katan fight where we know neither of them are going to die. And for me, it's like, if we know how certain fights end, I'm like, I can't invest. I'm like, I know Bo-Katan's not going to kill Din. I know Din's not going to kill Bo-Katan because there's no coming back from that, as a character. So I don't really want to watch that fight because I know it's not going to result.
And again, and honestly, like I might have enjoyed that whole situation and scene more And I know I'm like joking around about it, but had it taken place on like a different planet with a little bit of a different atmosphere, it always felt like the story didn't fit the atmosphere. And then just again, as I talked about when we started talking about the top of this episode, like once stuff starts piling up on each other, it always becomes like, and I don't want to be negative, but it becomes almost easier to just point out this, that, and the other. And I'm like, not a fan of this, not a fan of this. And I don't want to say that, but like, it just felt like, again, like we have this bow and axe are brawling for the couple minutes, and then Mando hands her the Darksaber, and it's just all sunshine and rainbows outside in the middle of a field. Like, it just, I don't know, it kind of took me out of it. Not in the same way of Jack Black taking me out of it. It's like, you know, I don't know if that makes sense, but.
Well, again, I at least like that she actually had to fight something. Like, obviously, she fought the spider thing to quote unquote win the Darksaber. I mean, I'm going to go back to Harry Potter. Harry literally pulled the wand out of Draco's hand and said, "Aha, I win." And that's it. But I really liked that whole fight. Just I thought the choreography was really good. Especially
I thought the fight was good. Yeah,
it was a good fight.
There's a part where he like kicks Bo off the ship, but then she grapples him with the little grappling hook and pulls him with her. Like, and I thought it was really cool. And then I just want to point out two things here. One is that one of the background Mandalorians is Lakeith. I forgot his name, but he's one of the Mandalorian actors who fills in for Pedro Pascal for more of the fight choreography. Cool. So we actually get to see his face. Still haven't seen Brendan Wayne, who does more of the cowboy stuff. But I thought it was just nice to see him get some FaceTime. And then I heard this on another show that and this is just me being a fan of American Ninja Warrior, but one of Bo-Katan's stunt doubles is Jesse Graff, who is like an all-star in American Ninja Warrior. So I was like, okay, that's really cool that she was in there. So that was something I really liked.
That's awesome. So you looked into all of the details. So you were able to find a lot of stuff that you liked. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hoping for a good final two that I personally enjoy, you know?
And if like interviews are anything to go off of, I mean, the actors are supposed to hype up the show and get people excited. But like, I know, what's his name? Giancarlo Esposito said like, oh, just wait till you see how Moff Gideon brings it in this season. Yeah. So it's like, that's one thing. And then I heard an interview with Brendan Wayne where he's like, I can't say much, but there's a scene I'm doing there with Bo-Katan, and I think people are gonna be really talking about this and something. And if y'all have never listened to an interview, anyone watching or listening who's never watched an interview with Brendan Wayne, great interview. He's just so honest the whole time. You can tell how much he's appreciative of the role, how much he loves being in this world, and it's just hard not to believe him. So if he's saying that like there's something pretty epic coming up, I have to believe him.
Yeah, I think this season's going to end strong too. JQ brings up a good point. Whenever shows and movies always hit the third season, there's always a disarray of the stories. Yeah, I think that's fair. Maybe it's the calm before the storm with like Moff Gideon's plotline. Mandalorian says there's no story to really look forward to, in my opinion. Oh no, Mandalorian. I hope you recover. You sound so sad. Hopefully it gets better. We'll see. Yes, two Mandalorians were tossing a football.
So catch at the park.
Mandalorian hated the ending. Oh no.
Because he had to give up the Darksaber.
You couldn't even use the Darksaber, didn't you?
There you go.
You did in that cave.
Yeah, it felt like Earth.
Felt like Earth.
Yeah, the planet felt like Earth. I agree.
Which to me feels like Marvel, and I don't want Star Wars to feel like Marvel because they're two separate universes.
Fever says, after thinking about it a bit, it felt odd for Din to reveal such a big thing in that very moment. Why not tell Bo sooner she earned the Darksaber? Maybe he realized it in that moment. Like as she was talking, he was like, wait a minute. I think this actually.
Too. Yeah. And I think under the helmet he was smiling. He's like, finally, she can take
it. I've been trying to give this to you for a whole season. Yeah, because he tried giving it to her before and she wouldn't take it because that's not how it works.
Yeah.
So he was probably so happy to be able to pass that off finally.
So this thing's heavy, dude. Just take it already.
Yeah.
Let him get back to his blasters.
He cuts that one droid in while they're chasing it, and I'm like, I was surprised he could lift up the saber that high. He had trouble picking up off the ground.
Yeah. Well, apparently it's been a long time since that season of Book of Boba Fett, so maybe he's been practicing. Who knows?
Adrenaline strength. He was just in the moment.
Yeah. Well, that about wraps up this episode. If you can think of anything else in the live chat and you're still here, definitely add that in. Or if you guys had anything else you wanted to call out that we didn't talk about yet.
Not from this episode. Like I said, I'm just hoping for a good final 2, end the season hot. You know, this weekend's obviously Star Wars Celebration has started. I think there's a big panel at like 6 a.m. our time, tomorrow morning. But maybe that's wrong. Maybe that's Saturday. But there's rumors of Ahsoka trailer dropping this weekend. There's rumors of movies getting announced. So I'm looking forward to all that and seeing what's going on. But as for Mando, 2 more weeks. I'm just hoping for a hot finale. Just leave us on a high and bring us into Ahsoka, even if they don't tie in. And then hopefully we don't have to wait another 2+ years for Mando season 4.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Or if we do wait, it better be really good. I don't mind shows taking a long time as long as, it like results in a better show,
Mm-hmm.
Lauren says we need them off. Yeah,
Yes.
I think these next 2 episodes. Yeah, Eric's sure.
Yes.
I do think these next 2 episodes will be all about Moff.
What I didn't understand is why do you have to bring Bo-Katan and Din to the planet, and you had other Mandalorians that was they can go in there. I mean, that's part of the creed to be able to wear their blasters and everything. Mm-hmm. And I know they explained, but it just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah. Someone said, I want to know if Bo gets her armor destroyed and go full silver like Din and Grogu.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Be surprised. Be a little sad since that armor is so a little bit nostalgic of the Clone Wars, but
yeah, it'd be cool though to kind of mark her like
something
succession.
New.
Yeah,
like Boba Fett.
Yeah, season 3 is not close to the same vibe. It had flashes of old Mando. Interesting. Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for joining to talk about Mando episode 6. We do have 2 more weeks of Mando talk, so make sure you don't miss them. They're Thursdays at 9 p.m. Tony will be back from Celebration next week, so I'm sure he'll tell us all about that. And we'll also talk about some of the things we learned from Star Wars Celebration, like new trailers and links for Ahsoka. So that should be really fun. Make sure to tune in next week. And if you're watching this on replay, thank you so much as well. Super appreciate you guys participating as always. And Danny, Noah, and Eric, thank you guys so much for joining today.
Thanks.
Always a good time.
Appreciate it.
All right. Until next time, guys. This is the way. Bye.